Hi guys, welcome to the final week of our co-bank project. So this is a 7-bed HMO for supported accommodation. I think the quote for the building work was about 7 to 8 weeks. We actually did that roughly on time, and that wasn't a problem at all. And then after that, something that you guys might not sort of be aware of is after the building work, there's always a few weeks of snagging, dressing, compliance stuff. So, you know, when a builder says X amount of weeks, that's fine, but add on about a month, you know, maybe even up to 6 weeks to do the, to complete the project. Probably not 6 weeks, but you know, with supported accommodation right now, with the onboarding involved, just give it a bit more time than you normally would. But Ashley will walk you around and explain everything about this project and more about supported accommodation. 1 second.
Cheers, Tu. Thank you very much. So, as Tu mentioned, it's a 7-bed for supported accommodation. This property was actually sourced online. It was on all the portals for everybody to see. It had already been used as a 7-bed for supported accommodation for a number of years prior. Really, really good price. Well below market value. Great area. In fact, it's an area that we're considering and had a possible second option as a professional HMO. But we're going to continue to use it as supported accommodation. So what I'm going to do, I'm literally going to run you around this whole house. So purchase price, 275, works 35k or so. Already, we haven't had the valuer out yet, but there's been a couple of houses in the area that have sold for 400k. So this is one of those, or is going to be very close to one of those elusive money in, money out deals. So let's have a look outside. So you can see, nice block paved front garden. Space for 3 cars, so really, really good position. We've got good transport links. It's a little bit noisy out here, but the double glazing is suffice. So let's step in. So I'm probably not going to walk through absolutely everything that we've done, because you guys have seen a lot of what we do in supported accommodation and sort of the standards that we work to. But have a look at this room. This room is about 24 square meters, sorry, it's about 22 square meters. It's absolutely huge. So again, if we were going to go and do a professional HMO, we would obviously put an ensuite in this room. But again, when we source for our clients, some people will source properties that have only got one end use. For me, that doesn't negate enough risk. So for us, we generally like to have a couple of exits, a couple of solid exits, if not a third and fourth exit. And to be honest, this property would be perfect even for serviced accommodation, wouldn't it too, given the location. It's not something that myself and Tu do, but it's a huge property. Serviced accommodation, I reckon you would probably, given the size, what you reckon, Tu, you could probably sleep 12 to 14
A lot of people.
Easily.
Yeah.
Space for contractors out there, it's actually perfect. I've just thought about that actually. So
Yeah. Well, it's near Solihull as well.
Exactly, near Solihull, not far from HS2 on the site. So yeah, this is room number 2. Again, really big room. Haven't put an ensuite on, but still very big and very functional. So a lot of what we did with this property, as you can see, we've got the existing kitchen, which has been cleaned. All the appliances and things have been repaired. We've also put new flooring into this property. We've had to change out the extractor fan because at the last minute we sort of noticed that the extractor wasn't working, although it was originally. In here you can see a separate WC. So this property has 1 ensuite, 2 separate shower rooms and that WC. So for 7 occupants, you've got very good amenity space. This deck out here, originally we were going to get rid of, but then we found actually a bunch of wood underneath, so we actually just made it a little bit more secure, painted it and kept it. I think if you pan outside there too, and you can see what we've done with the garden. Previously it was just a bit of a mess, wasn't it too? So we've just tidied it up, restoned it. Again, for supported accommodation, that's low maintenance. We're never going to need a gardener, never going to need anything. There were a couple of quirky things in this property. There was like a weird UPVC cover in there. Do you remember too? The black one.
Nice feature.
So we got rid of that. We've fireboarded up there as well, just to ensure that it's safe. Again, you can see the amenity and the standards that we actually have in these properties. So you can see a couple of fridge freezers here. We've also got one more small undercounter fridge freezer in room 7, which is the loft room. And that's obviously so the person in the top room doesn't have to worry about coming all the way downstairs to actually get a snack or get their food. So as you can see, you know, fairly straightforward garden. Again, this was covered up previously, but there was a bunch of wood actually under there. So what our builder's done is use some of the wood to repair one of the gates. Now you can see the gates are a little bit mismatched. Now again, you know, probably another couple £100 we could have got them painted. But again, with this project in particular, we were had to be very careful with the finances, as with any refurbishment project. Luckily, we didn't get too many unknowns, did we, too? So from the original quote, I believe we done for the investors back in November. Obviously, as you guys know, things changed by the time we come to start in March. Prices had started to shoot up and things started to happen. But we weren't too over budget from what we originally thought. Into room 3, again, really large functional space. This room is probably about 10 square meters. So what we also do, myself and two, is we always make sure that if the amenity spaces were to change, we're ahead of the game. We don't have any 6.51 square meter rooms. Nobody wants to live in them. They're pointless and they're not future proof. Into this bathroom, so we've removed the bath that was previously here. Baths don't work well in HMOs, definitely don't work well in supported accommodation. Changed out the WC, sink, and installed a new shower in there. So that's all new shower system. And we've retiled the bottom of the floor. And we just gave it a fresh lick of paint, so it looks really nice and new. Into bedroom 4, again, nice large room, about 10 square meters. I think on this project too, we didn't, and I'm saying I hope so, but we didn't actually have any major issues.
No, it's fine.
Partly because what we were doing, we weren't doing any, what I would probably say is real construction work. Yeah. So we weren't removing walls and ripping stuff out. We weren't installing en-suites. It was really just a cosmetic job in this property.
Yeah, it wasn't about to break.
Yeah. Into room number 6, which again is a really large room. This is the ensuite room. So this room is about 18 square meters, probably a bit bigger actually. This is one of the bigger rooms. Plus a decent sized ensuite. So again, in the future, potentially, and it's something that we've already explored, but we could look to go the professional HMO route. Obviously then, from an amenity standpoint, we would look to get more en-suites, but that's always an option for the investors. One of the biggest things in this property, and just checking this property too, was compliance. So all aspects of compliance, fire doors and fire frames were all removed. All of the fire stuff has been checked, so fire alarms, radiator system has been bled and updated where needed. Into room 7. So room 7, loft room, again, we've got a bit of storage space under here, under counter fridge there, which we're just going to pop underneath there. And again, really big, light and airy room. This is exactly what we want from an investment property. So yeah, I think we're happy with this one, aren't we too?
So how's the deal stack?
So deal stack, approx 275 purchase price. The refurb was about 35k. Dressings, furniture, etc. about 5 or 6k. So we're probably all in for about 310. Obviously, the investor will then have their, their legal fees and stamp duty, etc. But like I said, around this area, if you were to just convert this back into a single family home, easily, I think now we could sell this on for 400k. So you could have made a 90k profit, gross profit. I reckon you could probably even stretch it more. And if we'd done it to a high spec, I reckon you'd probably be pushing 420, 430. So there's a lot of equity in this for the investor. So it's a really good deal for us. It's BMV. You don't normally get that. It's a really big property that's going to cash flow well, and you've got multiple exits on the back end in a few years as well.
And we've got a few in the pipeline, haven't we, in terms of
exactly
deals and stuff like
we've got a few more properties coming on, so we have been finding a few BMV deals online, which is perfect. Guys, trust me, they're out there. You've just got to have your angle. But yeah, that's it. Apart from us, you will see some more stuff coming soon, so stay tuned.
Okay guys, hope that's been helpful. See you guys in the next one.